Yeah, I would enjoy that thoroughly.
Yeah.
How's your health now these days, buddy? You're feeling good, and you're.
I'm doing really well. The WWE made me their ambassador now, and I know we passed a few times through the backstage area, and you were pretty busy doing your thing on your comeback there, and I just want you to know how much I love you, and so happy that things are working out good for you. And I know it's been a rough, hard to say what that's like to lose a brother and your mom and dad, and it's just good to know that you're back and you're doing well, and I'm one of your big supporters. I was there in Oklahoma City when you were you thought that you had enough and you wanted to go home and go back to Calgary and do something else, and I told you to just stick to it, and you ended up being a world champion, and probably the greatest world champion WWE ever had, as far as being a ring general and a storyteller. That's a lost art these days, Bret, and I know you see it, and it's just it takes the fun out of the business when you're not a ring general and a storyteller.
I understand that, and it's true for all the years that I've known you, that you were always a guy that I thought was always in my corner. And it's funny that I really haven't had many times to talk to you, but I know you were oddly enough in the dressing room in Montreal that day, and when me and Vince had our little fisticuff. There's not very many guys left that are alive that were in that room anymore.
Yeah, that was
the surviving witnesses.
That was a funny story. I knew nothing about it. I was the commissioner at that time, and right before the match was to start, Vince came to me and said, "Hey, Sarge, you come down to the ring with me." And I said, "Okay, nothing wrong with a little TV time, a little pay-per-view time." And so I'm sitting there at the ringside with him, and all hell broke loose. I had no idea what was going on, and on my way back to the dressing room, I started tearing down Vince McMahon office signs because I knew it would give him a little more time to get his thoughts together. I really didn't know what was going on, just like you. And so I tore down the signs, and I remember you coming through the curtain after you did your little escapade there, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, to tell you the truth. But and when you came through the curtain, you looked at me, and I said, "Hey, I had no idea what was going on. Welcome to the club." And you just kind of looked at me and gave me a grin, and I realized you knew that I had nothing to do with it, and you started looking for Vince's office, and you couldn't find him because I took hard to take the signs down. And so finally you found it, and I heard you banging on the door, and I saw you banging on the door, and went to your dressing room, and I immediately followed you there, and I just kind of went in there to protect Shawn Michaels because I didn't know what was really happening, and I saw what kind of mood you were in, and I knew it wasn't a good one, and I'd have been in the same the mood as you. But finally, when Vince and his entourage came in, I witnessed everything, and I can tell you that was a hell of a right cross. Buckled him down to his knees, and he said to you, "I had to do what I had to do, but if you want to take revenge and hit me right now, go right ahead." And I thought, well, that's quite a open invitation, and you kind of stepped back like you weren't going to do anything, and you took a step forward, and wow, what a punch! I'm telling you, that was unbelievable. And he went down to his knees, and his son Shane grabbed him. He said, "That's enough, and you said to Shane, 'You're next.'" and Jerry Briscoe jumped in between you and Shane. He said, "That's enough, Bret. That's enough." And you said, "Briscoe, you're next." And after him, and then I jumped in there, and you looked at me, and you kind of went like a little weak, and you said, "I got nothing to do with you, Sarge. I'm sorry." And I said, "No worry. You're in enough problems the way you are right now, so back off." and you went back and started taking your tights and boots off, and right before you sat down, you walked right over to Shawn Michaels, and you pointed right in his face. I'll never forget, and you said, "If you were in on this, and I find out about it later, I'm going to kick your ass." And Shawn Michaels started crying. He said, "Bret, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about it." You know? Yeah. So the real man he was, whether he knew or not, he got out of that right cross, and I'm sure you would have gave him so many lefts you'd have been begging for a right. But it was one of those times in the business that wrestling justice took place, and whether it was for the good of the WWE or for the good of Bret Hart, I was there and I saw it, and till the day I die, I'll never forget it. And I have to say that you're a hell of a man, and he offered you to give him a sock, and you took him up on it.
Well, that's about as accurate as a memory of it as I got, and I always appreciated that you were there, and I always knew that you would always give a pretty fitting account of how it really went down.
Yeah.
Hey,